Hello everyone, this is Fallen Dice, and welcome to my Survivor's Guide to Ravenhearst playthrough. So Ravenhearst is a 7 Days to Die mod. You can download it through the 7 Days to Die mod launcher, which I will link below. The Ravenhearst mod is a creation by Jax Teller. A lot of people know him from the forums. He is also the server owner for the Dawn of the New Apocalypse server, which is where this mod came from, originally called the Forum Fanatics server. And this was the mod that he created to kind of breathe life and continue life in the server that he owned and that we played on. So it's kind of evolved over time and recently has been released as the Ravenhearst mod for the public. So on the Discord, we noticed there's a lot of questions, a lot of confusion, how things work, some of the workstations, and just a lot of in general. And it's kind of hard to really make everything self-explanatory in a mod. So I decided it would be kind of fun to go through and do a Let's Play on the mod, but use some of my experience from the server and plan this mod to explain how some of the things work and my ideas on some of the strategy to use when playing this mod as well. So quickly we'll get into this. The seed, it's Ravenhearst Survivor's Guide. First letter all are capitalized. We're going with Nomad, 18-hour daylight, never run. That is the way we play on the Dona server. And it's not exactly super easy because there's a lot of zombies in this that run always anyway. So this just kind of makes it so that you can still do some things at night. Doing a 90-minute day cycle. I like to build, and I just like to have a little bit of time. And as I am going with the 7-day horde as opposed to the 21-day horde which we use on the server, I will be getting a lot more of the horde nights, and I will be fighting all of them. So it just gives me a little bit more time to explore, build, and things like that. Regular normal loot abundance. I went with 10-day respawn on my loot. Drop on death is backpack only. We're going with 32 enemy blood moon count. We'll kind of see how that goes. If it gets too easy, I can always update it. And yeah, those are my other normal things here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to take a break from the recording until we're actually popping in on the world, and I will see you shortly. Alright, as we're about to log in here, a couple things for the series. I don't plan on recording everything I do. It's entertaining, but I want this playthrough to kind of move along a little bit, so I'm going to do a lot of things off camera and explain what I'm doing. So we're going to quickly make it through the opening tutorial, which has been expanded by Jax and has a very distinct Sons of Anarchy theme to it. Jax Teller being one of the big characters in that, and Jax, who is the server owner and the mod creator, is a big fan, so a lot of that in this thing. So, to get started, I want to apologize for leaving you behind. Club was under attack. We had no choice. We left you some supplies in your briefcase. Locked it for safekeeping, but we left you the key. If you're having a hard time remembering who you were, read the paper in your pocket and it will help you remember. Then use your key on your case after you place it on the floor. We are headed up north to find any remaining charters. And then from there it gets into our basic starter quests, which there are some definitely additions into this. Jax has kind of added a few more things. So I'm just going to, like I said, quickly run through there. The lag is actually a lot better in this. We're playing the 2.2 version of this, so they've done a lot of work on both the inventory lag, the crafting lag, and some things like that. And a lot more of that has actually come in the 3.0. So these are all good things. So you notice the normal bedroll recipe is not in this. You have to use cloth fiber or cloth fragments to create that first bedroll, so we're running around doing that. As you noticed, anytime you see one of these, grab these. This mod is very painful when it comes to having issues with, oh, I thought I had 10. Having issues with infections and things like that. It's a lot harder to stay healthy in this one. So looking at those trunks is a good way of getting honey, which is a very, very good thing to find. Like I said, I've been going through a lot of these things as they kind of come up. Want to really get moving. The mod itself, if you haven't watched anything before, this is not your typical cower in a cave somewhere and survive. This mod is about getting you out, getting you exploring, getting you looting, killing zombies, things like that. If you don't do that, you're really going to struggle on this mod. So kind of from the beginning, having that understanding is going to make things go a lot better and a lot quicker. And it also has a lot to do with like some of the choices that you're going to make as far as what you want to pick as your starting class and things like that is, in my mind, based on the way this game is designed. And I'll get a little into that when we actually make our choices for class. Right now, like I said, I just really want to kind of keep moving, get the starter quest done so we can move on and get at least an initial base and then start exploring. Let's see, we got our bedroll down, craft us an axe. The good thing about this is a lot of it is not, it's still your basic game. It's just kind of changing the way that you look at how to spend your time. You still, the ABCs always be crafting, things like that, but there's really a lot of effort has been put into the loot tables and things. So normally when it gets kind of boring and old running around, you know, looting, this one is a lot of fun because there's some really cool stuff in here. Some really neat POIs that have been added. The vehicles that you find on the side of the road have been greatly updated, and some of them also, again, have some really good items. And as you play, you'll kind of start to get the feel of which ones are the ones you really want to be looking out for, which ones have the special loot. And as I find some of those, I will definitely point them out. As you see right there, I just picked up a bowl. Bowls are important as they are used for combining your canned foods into a much better item. So if you have two of the items, or say one of the ramen, you can combine them with a bowl of water and you'll get a better item. And if you then in turn heat them up, you'll get even more cool stuff. And I still need one more wood. So it's actually kind of turns those canned foods into something that's actually worth having. Wooden club is also a good thing to have. You'll notice it falls under primitive, which means when we get to like the skills and things you get, blunt weapons does not include the wooden club. If you don't pick the blunt class as your starter class, you can only go to level 1 of blunt crafting, which means you're never going to be able to make really nice items until later on in the game when you pick up the class. So it's good to get that primitive crafting up. It allows you to actually at least make the basic low-level item of your melees, which will save you some of your ammunition later on as you're killing zombies. And there are a lot of zombies. The single player of this is really harsh. Again, the mod was designed for our server, and on the server, Jack kind of releases things over time. So there's like key horde nights where they finally release the night terrors. The zombies start to increase, and even later on, eventually, once the server gets pretty far in, they may start making the zombies run at night. So these are all staged, like game staged, into the age of the server. Can't do that with single player. So on single player, you get everything right from the beginning, which makes for a fun experience, but it also makes it a little bit of a struggle. Kind of was unlucky in that we spawned in the snow biome, so it definitely makes finding birds' nests a little bit more difficult. But hopefully this one has some feathers and then we can actually move on. Big thing with, yes, good. With the way I play is feathers are important. So anytime I find a nest, I really want to pick that up and continue to gather those feathers. I probably did that one. And I'll explain why again when I pick my class here. Alright, so we got a wooden bow. And then I need to craft some wooden sticks. And by crafting wooden sticks, we mean scrapping wood. So it says craft, but it really means scrap. And then we need to make some stone arrowheads. I'm going to have to find some more stones, but there we go. Actually, I'm going to come over here and whack on this for a little bit. I'm trying to think of some other basic things as I'm going through this quest. Yes, so the POIs. The POIs, there's the normal vanilla ones, but there's also a lot of them from the compost pack, but not the crazy ones. Like, you're not going to find the retirement village in this one. That does not exist in this mod. Jax handpicked what's in here, and that was based on balance, things that actually kind of went with the theme of the game, and that weren't overpowered. So like I said, you aren't going to find those crazy ones here. But there are a lot of fun ones, and some of the items that you need, like the twine, which is a super important part of this mod pack, you're going to find in some of those newer POIs, but you're also going to find in your trash and stuff. So don't skip houses. Houses are important that you need to find for your twine and things like that, but also so is your trash and things like that. Alright, another tree stump. So keep on moving. Oh, there we go. I can actually use that for skinning. If you do find that you have crafting lag, you know, where when you have the crafting menu open, because there's a lot of recipes in there, they try to alleviate that by putting them in different categories and things, but you can always use the favorite trick. So if you select things that you're going to make, you know, fairly often, and then turn them into favorites, it'll only show those recipes in there, and you're going to get a lot less block lag. So that's a nice tip you can use to alleviate some of those issues there. Alright, the next one is going to be campfire. Yep, get that started. I should probably see where the nearest... Ooh. I can't see where clay is. That's gonna... I'm gonna have to get out of the snow probably for that. Your normal quest line usually kind of ends around here, but with Jax, he actually went through some of your basic building materials that you would use when you're playing the game. So let's see. Let's pick up my my bag here, and we're gonna start moving because I need to find where the I hate when these things get kind of stuck in there. There we go. I need to find some clay, and I'm not sure where that's going to be. So let's see. Craft a storage chest, and we'll keep moving. There we go. I see some green grass over there. Keep hitting those tree stumps, looking for any nests that we find. The tarp is used for some of the survivalist class recipes, like the water catcher and things like that. It is good to keep them. You don't need a lot of them. It's not like your twine where you want every single piece that you can find, but it's still good to have. Soon I'm going to start running into zombies, and you're going to see, like I said, the single player, you really get dumped on with zombies. There are just a lot of them. But on the plus side, that's free experience, and it's a lot of good loot. Another thing that's part of this is we'll get into is the medical issues. So one of the reasons why a lot of people like to start with the medical class is the amount of, oh, nice, got an engine. The amount of medical loot that you're going to find compared to like a vanilla playthrough has been greatly reduced. So there's a lot less of it out there, and what you do have is very, very precious and important. So if you were to say go with the medical class, it gives you the ability to create some of those items early on, which is nice, but I think it kind of hampers you in the more important aspect of this game, which is the exploring and the looting. Looting is very, very important in this mod, as it's kind of designed that way, and I think at the beginning of the game it's more important to be able to loot those POIs and to do it safely. You know, getting in there, that's awesome. Very important to find a pot. But yeah, you want to be able to do it safely, and you want to be able to quickly move through those. So I think having a ranged melee weapon, or not ranged melee, but a ranged weapon is important. You know what? And I am not sticking around for that. That brings up another thing. We have a very slow loot, and that's done intentional. It's to kind of add a little bit of that danger to the game as you're playing. So it's kind of, gives you a few of those kind of, you know, scary moments, you know, where you see something you want to loot, but do you have enough time to loot it? You know, it's the risk reward. Still haven't found any honey yet. You can buy some perks that will reduce that looting time, but for the beginning part of the game, you're definitely stuck with this. Yep, and I hear, yep. And some of these guys can run. So I really, really need to get out of this. This is a really scary biome to start in. Ooh, that's nice to see. Yeah, and I'm passing all these. It's hard, but I got to get out of here. Another thing is the night terrors. Like I said, night terrors were designed to be released in later game stages on the server. They are not for a beginning player, and I think that the best thing to do if you run across one of those within that first week of playing is run. Run away. Don't even bother fighting it. It's not that you can't beat it, but the problem is the amount of resources that you're going to waste on it compared to the RNG. You could get something nice, but you could also get absolutely nothing, and you could end up using almost half of your ammunition for whatever your starter weapon is, or all the arrows that you just got done creating. It's harsh. And like I said, I think it's just at the beginning stages before you start to kind of level up your skills and get better stuff, it's better to just ignore it and kind of come back into those later and use that time, because you may spend half your day just trying to kill one mob, which gives you nothing, and that's kind of rough. Alright, so we're out of the snow biome. I need to place my storage chest, but I'm kind of trying to get a little bit free. There we go. We got a little bit of time here. Beginning game, I like to kind of keep moving quickly because it's all about getting to the looting. And yes, I could be looting zombies, but right now I haven't picked a profession yet, so I don't have my starter weapons. And all I've got is a crappy primitive club. So I'm not going to be able to fight very good at the moment. And it also gives me a chance to kind of talk as we go. Let's see, craft sticks. I need 60 more sticks. I think I did 8 last time for that. Let's try, this should give me enough. Yep. Alright, so as those craft, we're going to keep moving on. Like I was saying, they got some cool vehicle POIs. Some of them have special loot in them, so it's really a good idea as you're going through to make sure you loot those vehicles. And trash again. Nope, we're out of here. Yep, that was probably a very smart thing. She's a runner. So the saggy booby grandmas, they are always a runner, and they're a pain in the butt. So yes, I could have found twine in there, but that is definitely not worth it at this point in the game. Waiting for my sticks to be crafted so I can continue moving on with this opening quest line. My big goal here is to get through them, find out where, oh yeah, it's a wolf, find out where my trader is, because my plan is to set up my initial base somewhere near the trader so I can trade in any of the excess stuff I find for dukes, and then turn around and use that to kind of pick up some of the stuff that I'm needing. You'll notice that the trader is not going to buy all the stuff you're normally used to selling him. That is intentional. A lot of people, you could win the game without ever even killing a zombie, just playing the looting, trading, crafting game with the trader. So a lot of the stuff that you can create, you cannot sell it. And like I said, that's intentional. Let's see. I have like a small little break in time here. I need to find, this is what I was looking for earlier, I needed to be able to find clay, because what we do now is we got to dig up some sod, and then we're going to have to make some cobblestone, so I wanted to be somewhere near both. The shed, or the starter shack, it's not not the greatest initial thing, but it's kind of cool. Oops, there we go. Who's that? I may have to at least fight a couple of these guys just to get the ability to dig up my stuff that I need to for the starter quest. Oh, come on. Alright. Yep, too many. Normally I would have already picked my starter class, but I want to kind of go over my reasons for the starter class before I do it, so that's kind of why I haven't got it yet, so I don't have my starter weapon like I normally would. Alright, I should be able to come run over here, leave them behind, and do a little bit of digging. Oops. Yeah, we're just going to play the dodge game while I think I only need 24 of the clay. It's the next quest in line. So we're just going to keep kind of grabbing that, and then we'll get some dirt here. I may just stop along the road to place the items once I get it. Oh, come on. Out of stamina. And it's really hard when you don't have that starter weapon. This primitive axe takes, 6, 7, 8 hits to get a kill on a zombie, so it's really not how you want to take down those first zombies. Keep, gotta stop thinking about looting. I can loot another time. One more. Alright, let's get a little bit away. Craft 3 sod. I'm going to start heading this way along the road. If you look on here, I'm moving a little bit quicker. It's because they have the Roadrunner buff that you pick up when you're traveling on roads. So it helps you gain extra stamina. So you can almost run without losing any stamina, and if you stop to walk, it actually regains it really fast. So it's a nice little perk to have. Man, this is so not my not my usual way to play, and this is kind of funny. All right, so let's see. Do I have enough cobblestone? Can I make 12? Yes, I can. All right, and we're just going to keep moving. Cobblestone is really good, and it's actually my go-to brick at early game. We got a cave here. Yep. It's my go-to building block for the early game, and you'll see when I craft my initial horde base is going to be made out of cobblestone. Let's see, flagstone. Oh, come on. Did I get all 3 of them? No, I didn't. There we go. Moving and juking and running along. Alright, there we go. 2, 3. I think, yep, that's it. So now I should at least know where my trader is going to be, and it looks like he's up this way. I think. Yep, he's straight up here. So looks like we were going in the right direction. I like the fact that it didn't take me back into the colder biome. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here. I'll pick back up when we get to the trader, but it looks like we do have a town over there. And I'm not super worried about having a really nice town for my very first one, because I'm going to be looting a lot of houses, not like the skyscrapers. So this looks to me like a very good beginner opening area. So like I said, I'm going to keep looting on the way. I will go ahead and keep recording just in case anything happens. Ooh, that was fantastic. That was 3 twine. If anything happens, like I said, I'll be recording. I'll throw it back in there. Otherwise, I will see you when I get to the trader. Oh wow, that was that pushing it on the looting table. But I just picked up night vision goggles. That, I know a lot of people really like the mining helmet, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. The mining helmet, I do need to find one, and it is a great item. But the light attracts the zombies, and early game when you're trying to loot, that is actually kind of a bad thing. I'm also hitting up the tires. I haven't gotten lucky yet, but tires is a really good early game item that you can sell. You can't sell a lot of them, but even just one is going to be enough to buy you a couple cans of food or something like that. So anyways, continuing to move along. Alright, so we've made it to the trader. I still haven't picked my my starting class yet, and there's a reason for that. Is I want to be able to kind of go through all the different available classes and discuss which one I'm picking and why I'm picking it, and have that ability to kind of look at those. So that's why I haven't chosen it yet, and I'm going to do it tonight while we're kind of hiding out. Well, that scared me. Ooh, good. Trying to get as much of the outside stuff as I can before I go inside. Remember, if you're the first person to get to a trader, you always want to go through and loot everything, because you can actually get some pretty nice stuff in here. And then it's going to be really annoying, but I'm just going to have to... Actually, you know what? I might turn that down just a little bit, because it does seem a bit loud. So turn... Yeah, that should be better. Alright. I definitely want to hear zombies sneaking up on me, but I don't want them like screaming in our ears. Oh, nice. That is fantastic. So, butcher's knife. Not only does this give you additional meat when you're harvesting the animals, but it's a required tool in the food prep table. So when you're making something, to be able to make like the bacon strips that you use for most of the cooking recipes, you need to have that inside there. So that is fantastic. So I've actually gotten some really nice items so far just in my trip up here. I got some decent stuff as well, looting cars and trash on my way to the trader. And that was intentional. Playing dodgeball with the zombies, to try and loot them before they got to me, because I'm not in a good position to fight them. But I wanted to be able to do some basic trading off the beginning with the trader before we move on to our starter base. I've also not scrapped anything, and two reasons for that. Number one, I can't scrap yet. To be able to do your basic scrapping, you need to reach level 5 in your scavenging. Additionally, your scrap metal tools and stuff is going to come from your level of scavenging as well. So once I get high enough in scavenging, I think 10, I'll be able to make the scrap tools. The scrap tool skill is just for the quality level of the items you're doing. Alright, so put that there. We'll head down. See, I'm gonna loot the rest of these real quick off camera, because I don't want the episode to be super long. It already is quite a bit long, but I really want to get everything in here and then discuss why we're doing a few things. So I'll be back shortly. So like I was saying earlier, what you can sell is very much reduced in this. You can sell. This is a quest item. You find different quests along the way. Things that you craft, you're normally not going to be able to sell. Soup and things like this I could, but I don't want to because I need them for food. But you notice a lot of things that you're used to selling, you can't. This I could sell. I'm going to go ahead and sell all these. Saving those stone arrowheads so I can make some more arrows. Now that I have that, I really don't need this, so I can definitely sell that. Try to get as much money as I can. I'm not selling those because I need that to make some better crossbow bolts, so that's good. Selling all my early weapon parts because I'm not going to be making weapons for a while. Same with these. Get rid of all that. I did get a tire, so there you go, 163. So you can see you do get some stuff. I really should hold on to that. No, by the time I can make anything with it, I'll have the wrench, so nope. Candlesticks and things like that, don't scrap them, because you can't sell brass, but you can sell the item that it came from. You see I've already got 7 twine. So I know a lot of people complain about twine and they don't want to make certain things because twine is so important, but if you get out there and you loot, you're going to find that twine. Well, I'm going to save some of those, but I'm already up to 1,300, so I might be able to get something here. Sometimes you can sell that, sometimes you can't. I'm not going to be able to use this for a while, so boom, that's very good. I am not selling that. That actually I need to equip. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah, I sell those. You can fill these plastic bottles up with water, and then if you use a purifying tablet, it'll actually give you the starter water that you're going to see here shortly. No, I'm going to save that because I can use that for that. Alright. And that's actually really good to find. Glad I found that. I'm going to go ahead and read that. a lot of items, or a lot of the things you're going to find here, we're going to sell when it comes to these recipe books, because I want to get my next class, and that requires 175 knowledge points or fragments. You get 3 of those for scrapping a book, so those are all important. Let's see if there's anything in here that is important for me right now. I'm going to find one of those. I'm not going to buy one. Potato, no. Food, I think we're doing okay with food right now. Garden hoe, it would be nice if I could find one of those, because if you find, ooh, actually right there, that I'm buying. Anytime you find a medical item that can be, this is going to save me from 1 infection, so that's great to find. But garden hose, if you find those little random gardens that you'll find in the middle of cities, you can use the garden hoe underneath them, and it'll actually till the soil, and then you'll get the extra harvest from it, which is good to have. Don't have enough for that. That would be nice. A wrench, and it's a decent wrench. I'm going to remember that. If I get enough stuff, I may come back and buy that, because that's a decent wrench, and it's fully repaired at the moment as well. All right, anything in secret stash? Nothing that I want. I mean, these are nice, but I don't need it quite yet. But this is actually what I'm going to need to repair my starter weapon, so it's nice. Okay. Again, I'm ignoring some of the basic quest stuff because it's going to be nighttime soon. And nighttime is not a fun time to be out. Even without the zombies not running, it's still not a very fun thing to do. I don't want to leave that zombie inside there because they can glitch the traders, and I don't want that, since this is going to be the trader I'll be dealing with on the regular. So let's head over to town. Oh, there we go. See a wolf. Let's steer clear of him. So what we want to do is we want to find a small house that we can build upstairs in. That's my normal... Whoa, that literally just scared the crap out of me. I think I stopped just short of where I thought I was going to be, so I didn't actually get hit, but he went right across my face. That was kind of scary. These bags... Oh, there we go. I'm going to save that for later. It's going to be a while before I can use it, but you need the ink when you're creating the class books, so that's going to be important. And once you start running around doing big scavenging runs, your inventories just fill up. It seems like those are the first things I tend to throw away, so now's a good time to get a couple of those, get them stashed, and they'll be there waiting for me later. But what I was saying is the house I'm looking for, small little tiny square house with an upstairs, so it's easy to fortify with some spikes around. It doesn't take a whole lot of resources to kind of fortify it, and it's not a lot of repair work on it too. So that's what I tend to go for. Looks like we got a military district here, so let's make sure we skirt around the mines. Keep hitting those birds' nests. When it comes nighttime, I need to get more wood, and I need to get more stone. Hopefully, oh, there you go, plates. I talked about the bowls we use for making bowls of soup and different foods and things. The plates later on are going to be important because you can use those to make your breakfast plate and your dinner plate, which is some of the best food items you can craft in the game. But you need the plate to do it, and you can't craft the plate. So kind of like that ink, it's a good thing to early on gather that item up and store a few. You'll find a lot. Those, when you're looting kitchens and things, you're going to find a bunch of them, and eventually you'll be throwing them away. But like I said, right now I'm not having inventory issues yet, so I'm just, all these things that I know I'm going to need, I'm going ahead and collecting them. That way I'll have them set aside. And it looks like we have a shotgun Messiah up there, which is nice. Ooh, and we've hit scavenging level 5. So technically now I can actually scrap items. And tonight when we're sitting over there, I'll kind of show that as well. What you get with the different skills as you level up. But I'm going to keep looting every trash I can find, because one of the items you need twine for is your towels. You can get the messy buff from looting zombies, and it's a random chance. It's pretty low, but if you're doing a lot of zombie looting, you're eventually going to get it. The initial messy just needs a towel, which is crafted from the twine and your cloth bandage. Eventually though, if you don't get it quick enough, then you have to make a soap, which soap takes a little bit more work. So you kind of always want to be walking around with at least a wet towel or two in your inventory. If you do get the messy, don't clean it up right away. Let your timer go for a little bit because it takes a while before you get from, it's kind of like your stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 infections. You don't want to use your antibiotics right away at the beginning. You want to wait until later stages so that you use less of those items, which are, as I've said, very rare and very precious. So this is actually a pretty good area to loot. But again, I want to find a house first. And I can't really... I'm seeing all these animals, which is a good sign that there's animals, but I can't really loot them until I've got my class picked up. So right now I'm just... Oh, juice. Yeah. Alright. Well, luckily he didn't take any wellness from me and very minimal health from me, so we got lucky on that. But I gotta be careful. I am definitely a looter, and I probably chance it more than I should, you know, looting these different things. But like I said, this game is all about looting, and the more you loot, the easier and the better you're gonna find that this game is gonna go for you. And it just the stuff, the looting is so fun in this mod. That the loot tables they've added, and just some of the cool stuff you can get. It's really fun. You know, like I said, we're walking through, and I loot that military jeep, and I get my night vision, which I'm still super excited about. That is really going to make looting some of the buildings a lot better, because now I can do it at night. What do we have here? Yes, I think if this is what I think this is. Alright, so what you're hearing over there, the military bases get the, what do you want to call them? They're bandits. So because of the bandits, they get to fire automatic weapons and stuff. So good loot for them, but they are a little scary. Alright, let's see if I can get these guys killed real fast. This is the house I want. So this, I think, is what people refer to as the greenhouse, and I'm not sure why they call it the greenhouse, like the color green. I don't know if it's because of the plants outside or something, but there's some really good loot inside, and in addition to that, it's got a nice upstairs area that I'd like to set up as my base. Come on. Right, there we go. See if I can get this guy down here. So I'm still going to have to take out the inside zombies, and there are a few sleepers in this, but I do have a bow. So after this, I'm going to go ahead and get my bow situated so I can actually start using that. Luckily, I was only like a couple zombies that were here. There we go. Loot these guys real fast. Hopefully I don't get them messy before I have a chance to make anything to clean that with. Ramen. Good. So I can make the bowl of ramen with only one ramen in the bowl, so that's good. Alright. Let's see how many arrows I can make. I don't want to use them all too much too early, because that is part of a quest I'm going to have, is killing zombies with a bow. So if you haven't figured out yet, my starting class is going to be the bow, and they had very specific reasons for that, which we will go over once nighttime hits. So, alright, good. All right, I'm going to go inside here. I'm going to kill all the zombies, and then I'll come back and we'll loot it real fast. And then I think, yeah, it's starting to get towards dark. So we may hold up here, go through our starter quest, starter class, and do our initial... Hopefully we'll get to level 2 by then, and we can do our initial perks and things like that. So I'll be right back. So this actually wasn't the house I was thinking of, but it's still actually not a bad house. So I went through, there were got no zombies in here. We're going to do a quick loot. At some point I'm going to have to go in there and clear out that military base there, because they're just going to keep shooting all night until I actually get them killed. And there's some good loot there anyway. Uh-oh, we have somebody outside our house that's going to want in here shortly. Like I said, the cabinets are usually really good for your twine, although I'm not seeming to have some luck there at the moment, but we haven't looted them all yet. I'm also really hoping to get lucky and get a wrench, because that definitely has a lot to do with early game success. Got some iron. So we're gonna have to go out and deal with him here shortly as well. Oh man, so loud. I'm gonna have to pick a different place. I don't think I can live in this place. So I'm gonna keep looting here. If I find anything cool, I will show it to you. Otherwise, I will see you when I get to where we actually are gonna settle, because I can't live by this. That was nice. Sewing kit. So that's another one of those tools that you need inside your crafting station. So that's one that you need inside the tailor station. So anytime you can find like those type of items early on is awesome. Alright, so this was awesome. So, oh, and we're getting... Oh, that's why I didn't see you. You're down there. No, no. As I was about to say, that's awesome. I just found some skill books. So we're going to look at those real fast. Normally, I learn every skill book at least on the last playthrough I did, I learned every skill book I found because it was, you know, free skills. But I think on this one, there's certain ones I'm going to use. Oh, sure, I can do that. Certain ones I'm going to use, and other ones that I'm not. So, blade weapons, that's getting scrapped. Actually, no, I just read it. Archery, that is definitely getting read. Rifles, we're going to go ahead and scrap that. So, archery, I'm going to go ahead and learn all those because... Ooh, that's not what I want to do. We're going to learn all those because I want to get my skill up to where I'm doing really good damage. So I'm going to definitely use all those. What else can I get rid of? Running out of room finally. Actually, no, we'll drop you. Scavenging. I am definitely going to take every single thing that I can find with scavenging and learn that, because scavenging, as it levels up, you know, obviously you're getting better items. Also, construction. I'm going to learn every one of those construction books. But most of the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and scrap so we can get that initial extra class. Here we go. Tenderizer. This is another one of those tools that you put in the crafting station. So that's also going to go in that food prep table. Good. There we go. Another twine there. So we're still... I forgot to sell this. This starting shack actually is worth money. So we're going to be making another trip to the trader. Peroxide. If you did take the medic class, you can use that to make disinfecting bandages, which is really good. But right now, that is not what I'm planning on doing. And actually, we're going to get rid of the spear. I don't need that. But I do want... I sold that. So I don't really have a... I don't have a bladed weapon to use right now. Eventually, I got to make me a shiv, and I can use that to destroy bodies, and that will raise my bladed skill that way. And it actually raises it pretty well. It's actually not a bad way to do it. Let's see, we got a couple more in here. So a lot of these new POIs have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of bookshelves, so it's a good way to find some of these skill books sometimes, or at least paper, and paper will definitely be handy later on for making our shotgun shells. I just need to check upstairs real fast. There's always something upstairs. I gotta make a ladder. And then after that, I'm running out of time here. I want to make a trip back to the trader, but I think I might hold off until the next day. That way I can use... There we go. We'll do that. Gotta make a ladder. I can use the night to do a little bit of scavenging now that I have the night fishing goggles. Normally I would not be able to, because you're... Actually, I haven't even equipped those yet. Because you're causing the zombies to come after you, you know, just by wearing the... Ooh, what's... It's working. Oh, this is new. I've never been... this is my first time seeing this POI. It's kind of cool. So I've got a working workbench. It's not the advanced, so I can't make anything other than the stuff that you normally make in your inventory, but it's still pretty cool. All right, so we got that. Man, I would love to stay in here, but that army base is driving me nuts. All right, so I gotta find me a place. I gotta find it quick. So I will be back shortly. All right, so I ended up finding the same type of house over there, and it looks like it's coded in that this is work. So I've actually got a working um, workbench. And the cool thing about this workbench, while it can only make the stuff in your inventory, it allows you to craft stuff, especially things that may take a while, without taking up the actual inventory, so you can do other things. So it's nice to have. Threw some chests up here. This is everything we found so far. Before we go and call this an episode, and I still haven't cleared this house up, but we're going to go through this. Between episodes, I'm going to go down. I'm going to loot this house. I'm going to try and loot a few other houses nearby. Again, I'll keep recording if I find anything cool. We'll show it, either at the end of this episode or the beginning of the next one. But I do want to get into this. All right, so first off, quickly, this is I should have probably read this earlier, but so breaking news. It's been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead have been returning to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to be reporting this to you, but it does seem to be a fact. All persons who died during this crisis from whatever cause will come back to life to seek human victims, unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. So this gives us a quest, what is it, the hard choice? Yep. So we just got to kill any 10 zombies. Alright, now, class selection. Alright, so like I talked about, medic, a lot of people say that you should either go with medic or farmer. I disagree. I believe that medic does give you advantages, but I think if you were in a multiplayer situation, it's more beneficial because, you can still have someone pick that up to give everybody the benefits of that, while you still have some people that can kill zombies. The reason why it's important, though, first aid kits, exclusive access, first aid kits. So you can't make first aid kits unless you're a medic. So if you don't start out that way, you have to at least get that class at some point. Antibiotics, again, these are things that are very beneficial. Advanced splints, disinfect bandages. These are awesome as they not only get rid of bites, stop your bleeding, but they also will cure stage 1 infection. And then blue ice, which is like this silly little, makes you go super fast. It's kind of cool. Farmer, seeds. It gives you fertilizer, compost, bin, and water wheel, yes, but seeds. The only people that can make seeds are farmers. Problem is you still need to get the mortar and pestle, and then you have to level up your green thumb to be able to make all these different seeds. So it's not like immediately you can make seeds. So by the time I get to the point where I'm going to be needing to craft seeds, I think I'll have enough to where I could actually get the perk. But you already noticed we already went past cornfields, potato fields, and some blueberries. So we can actually break those plants and get the seeds, or we can hoe underneath them to get the stuff. So we're going to be able to have more than enough corn and potatoes for our needs for the beginning. So I'm not worried about that. So these two, no. Survival lets you make jars, pots, grills, things like that. It's nice to have, but I would never make that as my first one. So that leaves us with our damage dealers. Blade and blunt, it's nice to be able to repair, because I found this reinforced club which is about to break, and it's nice. But again, when you're looting buildings and things, you have to get close to use it, and I like to stealth through, which is why the rifle, shotgun, and handgun don't work for me, because number one, to make the ammo, you have to have gunpowder, and it's hard to make gunpowder early on, and that means you're having to find gunpowder. Whereas with the bow, all I have to do is loot a bunch of nests to get the feathers, and then I can either make my cheap stone ones, or if I do like I found all these iron heads, where are they? I know I found a bunch of them. There you go. I can make 51 iron crossbow bolts. So to me, it's the easiest ammo to make, and in addition to that, it's a stealth kill. So I can creep through the buildings, shoot the mobs while the sleepers without having to actually wake the zombies up, and I can actually make the make the ammo a lot easier. So that's why I think in a single player, the bow is almost like a no-brainer. It's what I'm always going to go with. So having it down, we'll go ahead and open it up. The bow also gives us the ability to make the repeating crossbow, which is really cool. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and use this because there's no reason to save it. So it's going to bring me all the way up to full. Same with this purified water, brings me up to full, or close to. And then with the class papers, you get the herbal antibiotics, which is going to cure 1 infection for me, stage 1, and stage 1 or 2 dysentery, but I'm going to use it for stage 1. And I also have 2 bandages, which will remove the bite. I'm not going to use those for bleeding or bleeding out. I want to make just regular bandages for that. These are specifically for bites. Now, if I'm running low on those, I can wait and let that bite mark turn into infection and then cure it with this. Or if I had the antibiotics, let it go from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, cure it all the way at the end. You want to be frugal with your medical items. So just because I get a bite mark don't mean I want to cure it right away. I want to look at the time to see how long before it becomes an infection and then use that to cure the bite mark right before the infection. That way I don't get bit immediately afterwards and now I've used 2 bandages when I could have had just 1. And same with like your messy. When we make the towels, which I'll show you this right now. This is one of the reasons why I really, really wanted the twine. It takes 2 per. So you craft that, add a bottle of water, you get a white or wet, and this is going to allow you to clean your messy. And then there's a second stage, which is going to require soap. And your soap, your bar of soap requires animal fat, goldenrod, aloe cream, and chrysanthemum. So you can't make aloe cream until you get the mortar and pestle. And the mortar and pestle actually requires a skill, which I can't do till I'm player 5 and costs 10 points. So it's not cheap. So you'd rather get the messy before it gets to the second stage of that. So there we are. Let's go ahead and read this. We get our 250 level crossbow, there we are, as well as 250 stone crossbow bolts and the ability to craft and now repair. So fantastic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Like I said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to loot this building, and I may loot a couple other buildings. I want to be very careful not to do too much early on because you get killed pretty easily and overwhelmed pretty easy by zombies, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be careful, but I will record. And yeah, that about ends it. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. Again, I will do my best to answer any questions you have. Have played this mod a lot, and I'm also one of the mods on the server and in the Discord. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to help. And hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you did. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And we will continue putting these out. And as we get further in, we'll start to delve into a lot of these workstations and a lot more of the stuff that kind of makes this mod fun and hopefully helps you kind of get through it. So with that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Well, that's kind of cool. Don't often get lucky with getting a deer just sitting in the house waiting for you to shoot him. Oh, I didn't bring my, shoot. I didn't bring my butcher knife with me. But looks like this actually is doing pretty decent.